Hello and welcome to this video about painting neutral skin tone. As an example, I will paint up this dwarf from the Hobbit starter set, so it's a plastic miniature by GW, and I will show you how I achieve a very easy, good looking skin tone without wasting too much time and putting on too many layers. I think I found a good way, a good compromise between smoothness and contrast, and that's something very important, especially for tabletop miniatures like this one. I'm painting up this one for gaming purposes. So here you see me painting on the base coat, which is Vallejo model color medium flesh tone. I slightly tint the base coat with water, and I put on 2 layers, so it's very important to have very smooth layer, very smooth base to start with, so that's why I paint on 2 layers. Now for the shading, I mixed in some, yes, basically a dark red. It's called burnt cadmium red by Vallejo model color also, and you see me here creating a separate pool of the base coat where I mix in a bit of the cadmium red and just a point of black in the mix also, and then add a lot of water to tint it. I think it's 2 parts water and 1 part paint or something. So just painting on to the recesses, into the recesses here along the edge of the face, the eye sockets, around the nose, the mouth. Then of course I'm also painting the hands here, so there's some shading going between the fingers and the palms of the hands. So that's the first shade. For the next one I just add a bit more burnt cadmium red with more black, and then the pool on the top left, that's the water. So just keep adding water so that the mix, the consistency of the mix is just as thin as the previous mix. And again I go over the same areas, but I'm trying to cover, I'm not covering the same surface as the previous layer, so I'm doing layering here to achieve the shading. Here I'm creating a separate pool just to do the final shade. Yeah, because the pool in the middle was a bit too big, so I created another pool to add the black, and then some more water. Again, these are the strongest shades here, so the eyes are important, the edge along the hairline is important, and really between the fingers and where the fingers meet the palm of the hand, that's where the deepest shadows go, so the darkest shades. I'm using a Winsor & Newton Series 7 number 1 brush here for everything. So that's the shading finished, and now it's going with the highlights. The highlighting is done by mixing in some basic skin tone by Vallejo model color, which is, yeah, light pink flesh tone, and then some white. So I'm mixing in a bit of these two in the original pool of my my medium flesh base coat, just a tiny bit at first, and this allows me also to correct some of the mistakes I made while I was shading the rest of the skin tone. So you see a lot of highlight going on the forehead, the top of the cheeks, the nose, and then of course the hands as well, fingers. Now adding a bit more white to the mix. I'm always adding more waters to keep the consistency the same. I'm layering here, so I don't want to have the paint to be too thick. As you might notice, I'm using a wet palette. I keep on getting questions about this, so I'll include a link to my wet palette video again. It's very simple to do, so just some paper towel with some baking paper or bakery paper. It has a number of names I've heard, in English. And that's basically it. So it extends the working time of your paints a lot. So this is basically the second highlight I'm painting on now. Then the third highlight, again adding more white to the mix. Just carefully build up the highlights. I'm still concentrating on the forehead, the nose here, the cheekbone, top of the cheekbone, very important. And then hands, just try, when highlighting hands, just try to highlight towards the knuckles and the tips of the fingers. Now creating the mix for the final highlight. Now you see me adding some of the base coat. Now the pool, just adding it straight into the white, so we're going for a near white here. Just some points here and there. That's it. Finished. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you have any additional questions, please post a comment, and remember to subscribe. Thank you.